Morning, trappers. Madtrapper here. First morning in Mississippi. Get that little beautiful orb up there. Something that's been missing back home for a while. First set happens to be a coon trail set, and that just shows up about as good as anything can be. Now back home, I would set probably at least a couple sets here and one on the other side, but even though it looks really good, normally you catch 3 to 4 or 5 coon off these and they go dead. You may pick one up periodically here, be here for 10 days to 2 weeks, but yeah, it's just going to be a simple. I've already put the stake in before I thought about filming, but yeah, just a simple DP right smack dab. Put a little molicious in there. Now I use a coffee can with a bent spout to put my molicious in. Don't need much. Now I come back, just in case they're really hauling butt down that path, I just do a little circle of fish oil, and that'll stop them cold. Anyway, there you go. First set of 2024 on the Mississippi line. We'll get on down the line and see what else we can find. All right, we are just up the hill from that first coon set we just set. I'm going to put in a couple big hole set and a little dirt hole set. Nice little location for gray fox and bobcat. I've only trapped this location a couple years. They just put it in like 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't notice it till the bulldozer a couple years ago was sitting at the end of the thing here, and went looking around to see what they'd done, and they'd cleaned this out. It used to be an old roadway, but anyway, I'm going to put in a big hole set right there where I got the hole pre-dug. I figure you guys know how to dig a hole. And then, I wanted to show you the lane here. Goes down, they cleared that out and put in a food plot down there around that tree. And all thick cover through here. Goes on down through this little woods road. Goes in down around that corner to pine planted area. Got little thick draws, and there's some oaks and stuff in there too, but a lot of pine when you get on through there. And then, excuse my box here, goes on down, and you got this little lane here that comes up out of the bottoms. And then it's just all thick in between there, back around to that food plot. So a couple years ago when I first set this up, I was thinking definitely a bobcat, maybe a coyote, of course. But actually, the only thing I know I've caught here for a fact is I think 1 coyote and 2 or 3 gray fox. But the second set is going to be just kind of a standard dirt hole. I already got the hole punched in. I'm getting ready to get everything going. Problem is, you can see how muddy it is here. They, like the rest of the Midwest, they've been in a drought all summer. They had a lot of dead pines. They had a lot of issues. But then they just got a 2-inch rain Friday, and this is Tuesday. So it's not dried up much. I don't think we're expecting more rain until Saturday. But I'll get this ready to go, and I'll get right back with you. All right, we are ready to put in this first set. It's going to be a little more mudded in than I like to start operations with, but kind of spook a coyote a little bit, but a cat and gray fox don't mind. Got me one of these new fancy hammers. Feel like a real trapper now. Broke mine out west. Got 2 of those, I ain't gonna say the brand on them, but they're kind of orange-red looking hammers, and they did not last. Now this is all just mud. I went over here off the side down the trail, and I already got me some, well, decent dirt anyway. Again, not what I want for my first sets, but we make do with what we got. Now, I don't do the big drop down. A lot of guys will start here, dig this all, what I call a trench shit, or step down. I don't do those. I just dig my bed about what I need for my trap. I dig the center or the bottom of it out so I could drive in my anchor and have room for the base plate and D-ring. Looks like I need a little work back here, but let's check it out. Using a No.2 Bridger, fully modified. I use got a little leaf caught there. I use insulation. Here in Mississippi, it rarely freezes. Might get a few freezing nights, but the ground rarely freezes. So yeah, just a 4-coiled, base plated, offset laminated No.2 Bridger. Oh no, that's perfect. Now that's the way I like it. I mean, fits perfect in there. No wobble, and I haven't even bedded nothing yet. There's just a little play right there. Like I said, I hadn't even started bedding anything yet. I just check and make sure the bed's the right size. So that's good. Now, let's go ahead and get the pogo beat down in there. I'm probably gonna wish I'd have had some of them 1.5 ones with me that I made before I came, but they're back at the camper. The only thing I did different to this when I was gripping it, just playing with it, had little sharp edges. Kind of left that one. That one don't bother me, but I ground that one off and I ground that one off just to fit my hand a little better. I'll get that pulled up out of there. Gotta make sure that's good and tug. If I can, I like to fold these over and pop them back down in that top of that hole, but I don't. There we go. Just beds them down in there a little better. All right, get it night last here. Let me check this right quick. All right. We knew there was a little wobble on this side, so we'll take a little bit of this, put underneath there, get rid of the wobble. Not optimum dirt. Of course, everything in Mississippi seems to be, at least where the places I trap, more of a type of clay than anything. And when it gets wet, not the best stuff to use, but it works and has for 20-some years. And I get it packed in inside my jaws and around my jaws. Then I will try get some of this sifted over there to make something look natural. It is I'll try to show you here. It is kind of a step down configuration. I don't know if it's going to show up very good, but no, I'm not going to try this. You can see touching here, but under there, got a little room. So it does have the step down properties. I like to pack it down. I don't want the only soft spot they step on to be my pan. Now we want to open this up, kind of blend this back a little bit. Don't have to be nothing. Get it off the pan. Nothing great. I just don't want them to be able to get to this hole from anywhere but over the trap. And we'll put that up there. Kind of gives it a walk-through property. I'm going to take something, put up here, but I want to mush it in there. I don't want that to roll in there. There we go. And we'll bait and lure that bad boy in a little bit. I do not handle bait and lure with my setting gloves. So, go up here and get this one in. And then we'll go through and get them baited and lured. This kind of set here, I had one around the corner last couple of years, where that goes. But it's gone now. They must have rebladed or something. But I'd like to find me a roadkill rabbit or something just to have the fur or the feathers for a little flash up in that hole. Not exposed, but just back up in that hole. But being this is the first day, We don't have that, so we'll make do. I'm going to dress the hole up just a little bit more. Let's use that log and stuff down there to bring up here and put around it. Having problems here. Well, that ain't gonna work at all. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. Open him up. Get that out of there. Get him out of there. Plant him over there so we have more in a few years. We'll get us a new one. And we won't worry about him. Let's see if this one works a little better. Ah, yeah. Alright. So I haven't prepped the bed here other than knocked off that ledge a little bit. Now this will be a kind of a real big step down. Because when it's all said and done, they're going to step way back here below it to even get to it. I was hoping to get enough dry dirt digging this I wouldn't have to go get any, but I might. Same thing, number 2. These are actually the clean ones I had left from out west that I didn't catch anything in. That's actually why they still have the insulation under the pans. Alright, get him knocked down in there. I don't know why I put the 25 2-inchers in here and I didn't put any 1.5 inches. Because this heavy clay, 1.5 inches would hold the biggest coyote. And I don't normally ever catch a coyote this type of set. Plus we're going to go right out here to that opening and put in a standard dirt hole for coyote or whatever. Down in there good. Get him buried in there good. It's got, there it went. It's got wax built up on it. I can't see hitting the notch, but I sure heard it. Get him all buried in here good. Unfortunately, with the drought, like back home, he said they've not got a whole lot of beaver. Of course, first year I trapped this place, I think on last year, if anybody watched any of last year's videos from here, I mentioned it, but a little over 2 weeks, caught 176 beaver off here. It was crazy. And you can figure out how many that was a day. That was a lot. I went down to 90 some the next year, and of course it just fell every year after that. And for the last, I want to say 10 years, I get in the mid-20s normally. And I think that's exactly what I got out of here last year, 22 or 24. Yeah, it just fell off to nothing. They got a couple decent sized creeks, one smaller river, I guess you call it, and a decent sized creek that flows up through here. So it does bring a few more in every year. Get that mud off there so I don't fill my bag up with mud. But yeah, beaver tracking is going to be light this year, which I hate to hear on a beaver buying year. Still hoping to find me a new place down here. I'm going to make a couple calls tonight. Let's see. Now, same thing, kind of a little walkthrough thing. You don't have to fight or anything to get up here. I want them to have a nice, comfortable travel. We'll utilize that stick right there. And I'm going to dress it up just a little bit. Nothing great, but I'm going to make it look like something went out of its way to put some food up in there. There we go. Nothing great, but hopefully it'll catch. All right, we have this set completed. This is the third set. Again, standard dirt hole. I use coyote urine in this one. I use some of my own bait, open dirt pattern below the surface. A couple little light stepping guides so coyotes come in here. They don't like to be nailed down. If I could rake this up, we would find several earth anchors here. I've caught coyote here, but for whatever reason, well, not whatever reason, it's a good area, but catch several cats here usually every year. Now, we just came from that lane right down there around the corner. I mean, maybe 100 yards. That's not. GoPro battery died. Try to pick up where I left off. Anyway, about 100 yards down there, we put those two sets in using Catch Brothers 3 Kings and Just Mice. So that's why I use my own that I make here. It's not a loud, it's not like a late season, but it has a little bit more reach out to it. So try to get different smells this close together. Now this area is so good. Now this usually I'll put 2 sets in here normally. But the last 2-3 years, I went back and looked at the records, and I've caught 4 animals on average here, and they've been spaced out 2 to 3 days apiece. So we'll probably just go with 1 set. We'll see. But you got another old roadway going down into the bottom there. Of course, the one we just set on. You got this roadway that goes back down to the gate where we put that first coon set in. And then I got this roadway going on where we're going to currently take. And another reason I'll probably put 1 set here is down around that corner a couple 100 yards. I come to another 3-way intersection, and I'll definitely drop in 2 sets there. Probably won't film them. It'll be, well, I might, because one of them will be a scent post, so I might film those. Anyway, thick brush all the way around. Years past, I would catch several animals right here every year, but this is the 16th, 17th year I've trapped this, so I've got them beat down pretty good. It's just the ones that come in off the adjoining property for the most part. Anyway, we'll quit yakking and get to trapping. All right, down here a couple 100 yards, we'll walk back up toward the 4-wheeler up there. It's now, I don't know, 20, 30 yards from where we're at. I got a scent post set up there we're going to show. First, I wanted to show something I've seen comments on before, not had any myself. Well, let's get this in the ground. Okay, here, I didn't break this out earlier either. My new pogo driver. Usually make my own, but they're a lot better at milling notches than I am. All right. Yeah, that's the second stake I've driven with that. I forgot I even had it in my box. The first 2 sets. I like it a lot. New hammer, new pogo driver. Woo, I'm moving up in the world. All right. Got that. And you see, one thing I didn't point out, I pointed that part out, but you can take that, pull that up if you want, shove all that down in the hole. That gets it out of the way. But curl my chain around a little bit. As I showed you earlier, my trap beds are made where as soon as the trap's in, they don't move. But this is what I was using to dig my dirt holes. I still got my drill, brought it with me, but I started using this out west. It worked a lot better than that gumbo, so I thought, well, I'll try it in Mississippi mud. And I've had this for years. I mean, well rusted, well, you know, I've used it before. Quit using it when I got my drill. Kind of going back to it. Kind of like it. Brought my drill, though, too. You can see how deep the hole was. The plug's right here, so, I don't know, solid 8 inches deep. Make it look like it's used a little bit. And put this stuff up in here. Anyway, not what I was showing you. What I want to show you is, man, I forgot my insulation for underneath my pan. What to do. But I always keep in here And I didn't forget it. I meant to. I want to show this. But what I always keep in here is wax paper. Now I've seen people on other YouTube channels say, well, you can use wax paper, but frankly, well, you put that in there and next step on that, it's not going to lay flat. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, one, I'm going to tear it down to a better size. Just that simple. Fit at the inside the jaw. Then, still crinkly, wad it up. Nice little ball, smoosh it around a little bit. Just takes a few seconds. Open her back up. Try not to rip it. Smooth her out a little bit. Look, no crinkles. So, I've got it sit there. When I come in here, I always tear them in dog knots because I don't like nothing holding up on my dog if I can avoid it. And a few pieces of paper, a few pieces to hold the paper down. And we'll get this buried. Now, of course, it makes that sound just because it's dirt hitting paper. But there's no crinkle to it after you get it in the ground. And it's actually, in Mississippi, a lot of rain and stuff. It works pretty good. Now, if you're in some locations like up home, and you're going to get rain and freezing temp and rain, well, sometimes don't work so good because get a little moisture build up on it. You can actually have a little sheet of ice over your trap, and you don't want that. I'm going to have to go find me some more dirt that will work. And we don't have to go far. Here in Mississippi, or other southern places, if you can find these places that are half sand, half clay, especially on a slope, they stay dry or dry out real quick. Now, just give me a little bit, don't need much. Now this location, hope that sun can get down here. You got a roadway going off there. You got a roadway going off there. And of course you got the road where we came from. Now up there, if that deer feeder comes through, there's a roadway that goes down there where I have the urine post set. So, good little trifecta of roads here. I'm gonna do my little dirt spreader. Spread that dry dirt around a little bit, kind of make it all look like it's dried out around there. Dirt plugs out of there. Bring that around. Bring that up here. Don't want to squeeze it down too much because, like I said, this is for coyote. Get the pan, the lowest part of the set. All right, we'll go put this stuff up and we'll bait it. We'll walk up here. Show you the scent post set, urine post, whatever you want to call it. I put in a protector set here. This feeder is an active feeder, putting corn out, turkeys, I believe. What they usually do this time of the year. Getting ready to put in that DP set there. Just got to bait and lure it, but I beat it in the ground. I don't know if it's going to come through as good as it did earlier, but it's real light. There's a real light coon trail going up there, coming out of that brush, that feeder. So, try to keep the coons out of my sets as best as I can. Just put in here. Get my set making glove off. All right. here is my urine post. Like I say, that's where we come from. Just put that single set in and that double set. Got a road going off there. Of course, where we just came from with the other set down there. Now, I'm using the old cow T-bone set. Very versatile. Bad thing about having the fresh rain is my where I dug in the set there. Kind of shows up a little bit, so I put some grass on it, try to blend it up a little bit. Now my positioning on the T-bone set is about like with a standard dirt hole. I come out about 7 inches. I go over a little further. Instead of about your normal 2-inch mark, my pan is right there. Reason being, either they're coming from here, and when they stop, the smell, the front foot's going to be right there. They're coming from this way, they stop and smell. When they step through, their front foot's going to end up right there. Come straight in from any direction. To me, that's the highest probability of where they're going to step. Putting this grass here, it helps kind of force it there a little bit. It's not enough to force them around, but they say, hey, here's a little more comfortable spot. Put your foot here. Do take note, I do back my T-bones up to at least some light vegetation, so they can't go around behind it and smell it. Well, they can if they really want to, but usually they're going to take the path of least resistance. They're going to be running this road or coming up that road. They're going to swing around to the front side. Normally, I mean, I can't say one wouldn't, but most likely, yeah, just a little stuff like that sticking up. I mean, you see how tall it is compared to the T-bone. About some of it's even with it. They normally going to come to the front side. Anyway, we'll get these all lured and baited up and on down the line. We are at one of the bridges in this place. If you watched my videos from last year, you'll see there's several of them. I'll film a couple more just because I find them interesting that they built these bridges themselves over all these creeks. And there's a lot of them. Anyway, we rolled up here from the other direction. I've already set this up. I don't know how good it'll come through, but right down there, fresh beaver sticks. You could tell it washed. This creek was almost bank full, I would say, yesterday, day before. They go down quick. And over here you got some more. And then if you could see, I don't know if they're coming in good, but they've been going up the bank there cutting, and then you'll see a slide rod right there. We got a set in there. I just set it where they were naturally going out. I did put a little lure stick there with just a little caster on it, nothing much. And I thought, well, they got to be running this creek coming from somewhere. So down in here, I went and I built that little obstruction across there. There was actually them logs, the bigger logs were in place. I just rearranged them, give them a little more diving. It looked like they were going over them. So I got a 330 buried underneath there. And then while I was setting that, when I actually come up the bank over here, I went down the other side and I didn't come up here. And when I was going to cross, it shows up pretty good here. You can kind of see where it looks like they were coming through here. Them are otters. They just kind of dished out and clean. So you're going to be upside down, but I put a 330 and big obstruction set right there. So on this location tomorrow, we'll have 2 330s and a HagZ slide rod to check. Hopefully we'll have something here. Getting on down the line. All right, trappers. Out here, getting toward the end of the day. Last conibear, actually last beaver set I'll be putting out today because I am traps on the 4-wheeler. Anyway, I want to show this one. Plain as day, you can kind of see it's not actually blended in very good. Standing there, it looked better than that, but heck, I guarantee you that'll still catch. We're going to leave it just like that and see how it goes. Comes up here, you can see the little sluice right here. You can almost see how padded down it is. They go on. And you can actually see the trench that they're making. Slight, but that's from the beaver and otter coming up out of this ditch here. I don't fall inside this bank. But, and it goes, and you can definitely see the belly marks and the notch over there where they're coming out. Plenty of otter tracks, beaver tracks, all the way up there, beaver tracks everywhere. Yeah, there's plenty of signs. So coming right out of there, coming up. And that's kind of like the old river part up there. That's where they're going to. They actually just dug this a little trench out last year. The landowners did. They were doing some logging in there and they had to drop the water level down. Then they put back a little dam. Now, last year, if you would have watched some of my videos, I don't remember how many I filmed there, but I know I caught 2 or 3 there, which, you know, right now that's a lot. Anyway, we're going to go check out a few more places for tomorrow, and going to do some running tomorrow and more sitting. We'll see you guys tomorrow.